now we would like to welcome to the stage Barry Shore. Barry, we've had the amazing opportunity of getting to know him the last couple of months. He's an absolute force of nature in the best possible way. You will absolutely love his story. And we have a very fun networking game that we are going to play as soon as Barry is finished. And he's going to come on up here. But Barry's favorite book is the Book of Psalms in the Bible. His favorite movie is Endless Summer. And yes. And I think one thing that's interesting, this is the man who's all about causes. And if he had $1 billion, which is his goal, you will find out, he would give it to children's education. I think that's absolutely wonderful.
We have some water over here?
Yes, I have the water in my hand.
Okay.
I'm going to hand off the mic to...
Good. What time is it? Afternoon or morning?
Morning by 1 minute.
Okay, good morning, Vietnam. Good morning, everybody. Nobody even knows that movie. My name is Barry Shore. I have a favor to ask of most people here. Anybody beyond the 7th row, I'm going to ask you a very big favor. Ready? Please get up and come down forward. Because my voice doesn't project as well as it may, and I'd like everybody to get out of their comfort zone for a little bit. Maybe even people sitting in here might want to move one seat over. Just get out of your comfort zone a little bit because you're going to enjoy it. We're going to have fun. Let me see. Oh, they even opened it for me, because if they didn't, we would be here an extra 10 minutes.
This is so much better.
And I say thank you.
I know. Thank you for doing this.
I say thank you to all the people who are moving. I appreciate it much, and I believe that you will thank me for it at some point. Okay, they're still coming down. Very nice. It's a little more intimate, right?
Yes.
It feels, yeah, it's just... Okay, let's see here. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I have been known to have a booming voice. I will use as my wonderful wife Naomi says, my indoor voice. So I've been trained by the best. Have you heard of Joseph Campbell's hero's journey? Anybody here heard of that? It's the common template of a broad category of tales that involve a hero who goes on an adventure and, of course, wins a decisive victory, comes home changed or transformed. So bear with me, because in this particular story I'm going to tell you of my journey, I am the hero. There are actually 17 steps in the hero's journey, but for the sake of time, we're going to go through 8 of them. I'm going to talk about them on my journey. Let's see what we do. Hello? Thank you. The first step is called refusal of the call. Often when the call is given because of circumstances, busyness, inadequacy, or fear, people are held in their own particular place. Hard to move out of your comfort zone, even to move a chair. The year is 2004. I am happily married for 27 years to a wonderful woman named Naomi. I have a 17-year-old son, large extended family, deeply involved in community. I had already built 2 businesses on the internet, one of which we sold for millions of dollars. Life is good. And of course, I've thought about helping other people, but I thought more about it than I did it. I'm human. Crossing the first threshold. This is where the hero crosses into the field of adventure, leaving behind the known world and venturing into a dangerous realm where the rules and the limits are unknown. September 17th, 2004, I'm standing up in the morning hale and hearty, just like everybody here. That evening, I'm in the hospital, paralyzed from my neck down. Not from an auto accident, from a rare disease which attacked my peripheral nervous system and rendered me a quadriplegic, completely paralyzed. The road of trials. Now we enter to a series of tests that the hero needs to undergo to begin the transformation. And often the hero fails one or more of these tests. Dragons must be slain again and again. I had just been moved out of 11 days in ICU into a telemetry unit. Nurse came in, I couldn't sleep. The nurse came in and asked me if I'd like to watch a movie, and I assented. I chose a biop of Abraham Lincoln, and we all know how that ends. Not well. I was crying by the end. Well, tears are salty, and they hurt. So what do? You wipe them away. But I can't move my hands, can't move my arms. I couldn't move my head vigorously enough to get rid of them. I couldn't blink them away. The call button that had been set up near my head to call the nurse had moved. What am I going to do? So of course I'm going to call out. Help! Help, please. My voice had been compromised also. I determined I was going to count to 10 and call again. By the time I got to 3, the pain was too much, so I called out again. Fuller voice. Help! Nurse, please help. By the time I got to 4, the nurse was at the door. She asked me, Mr. Shore, did you call me? Yes, my eyes. She came in, daubed my eyes, cleaned them up, fixed the call button for my head, and with a little bit of voice asked me, is that all? Yes, thank you. No one knows the pain of another. Fast forward 4.5 months, I'm being sent home from the hospital, still a quad. We set up a special hospital bed in our home, and thank God we could afford help 24/7. But my wonderful wife, Naomi, which means my comfort in the original language, didn't want people in a home that she doesn't know staying overnight. Fair enough, so we had help from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Now in the hospital, when you're a quad, between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m., they have something called a turning team that comes around every 2.5, 3 hours. And these 2 burly people with back braces will turn you on your side every 2.5, 3 hours, set up a call button, so you have some normality of sleep process. Well, my wife had been trained to give me my shots and to give me my meds, and she determined she was going to turn me over herself. 5'1.5", 3 pounds over 100. So conjure up the vision of the distraught mother lifting up the car that pins her child underneath. And she turned me over every 2.5 hours, night in, night out, week in, week out, month in, month out for almost 2 years. That's love, deep love. Atonement with the Father. I prefer to read this as at-one-ment with the Father. The hero must confront and be initiated by whatever holds the ultimate power in his or her life. It was about a week after the incident with tears. I was on a gurney being wheeled back to my room. I had been out for some test, something. And there was a male nurse who was bringing me back in. And I had interacted with this person 3 or 4 times over the past week, very pleasant fellow. As he's wheeling me back to the room, he asks me, bends down, he says, Mr. Shore, may I ask you a personal question? I say, yes. How come you're not angry? Why aren't you bitter? I'm a nurse. I see people in your situation often. I've never met anyone that's not been angry or bitter. Until that point, I had not thought about being angry or bitter, and I wasn't. But I realized he was asking me the existential question, Why me? With a question mark or an accusatory tone. Why me? I was thinking more of, why me? Why have I been chosen for something unique? I don't know what it is, but hopefully for a purpose. At that point also, I asked the good Lord for strength, for healing, and for purpose. And at that moment, a warmth and a serenity and a calmness overcame me that I had not known in 55 years. Which brings us to apotheosis, a peak experience. Greater understanding is achieved. Armed with this new knowledge and perception, the hero is resolved and ready to go on the more difficult part of the journey. I was determined to walk again and to have a purpose. I was going mad. I needed to make a difference. The ultimate boon, the achievement of the goal or the quest. Over the course of years, 3 hours a day, 6 days a week, I managed to be able to be vertical and ambulatory, as you saw, albeit with the help of a 6.5-foot walking wand that was made for me by a Zen master. I still can't walk up a stair by myself or a curb, but I am vertical and ambulatory. And in the course, I also learned how to swim with aids, and I swim now 2 miles a day, 6 days a week, and I've done that for more than 9 years.
Yeah.
Well, if you like that, I'll tell you this one then. I accumulated enough miles in those years to swim from Venice Beach, where I live, to South Korea. That's something, huh? Now, in the course of this, I had been in a wheelchair for 4 years. I never wished that on anybody. We had 2 wheelchairs, a motorized one and a very fancy, lightweight, Olympic-style wheelchair. Together, they cost almost $10,000, but thank God, we had money. And we had private therapists come to the home 6 days a week. But we also went to rehab in a group setting. It's important when you're in a situation like this to be in a group. While in the group, I noticed that not everybody had fancy wheelchairs like I had. So one day when we came home, put me back in bed, I asked my wife if she would do some research, find a place that helps people get wheelchairs, and write a check, remember that? Write a check for $1,000. She readily agreed. Put me back in bed, and I'm feeling the glow of giving. That's how you feel when you give, right? That's nice, that's good. About 5 minutes later, I called out, "This is dumb!" My wife comes running into the room. She says, "What are you talking about?" I said, "This is dumb. Just because I emotionally moved right now, and we want to give money and we can afford it, why aren't there thousands, tens of thousands, millions of people giving a little bit of money every single day to help out causes of their choice? Why not?" Refusal of the return. I found bliss and enlightenment. I'm walking, I'm swimming in the adventure world, and I'm almost a civilian again. I didn't want to necessarily come back, but I realized I must, and bring something back to the community, purpose. But how? What am I going to do? I told you, I was going mad. I needed to make a difference. Crossing the return threshold. The trick in returning is to retain the wisdom gained on the quest, integrate that wisdom into the life, and then figure out a way how to use the wisdom to share with the rest of the world. Otherwise, why am I here? Why have I been saved? How is it that people could give every day in a fun, easy, effortless manner, and, here's what I wanted, It should be free. No cost to give. Now, if you recall, I had already built 2 businesses on the internet, one of which we sold for millions of dollars. They were both built on a free model. So that was my passion. How is it that people can give, fun way, effortlessly, and for free? That was put into the subconscious. A few days later, I'm laying in bed, I'm a quad, and I have a vision. And it was simple and clear and concise, which is the way most problems should be solved. The Venn diagram, 3 interlocking circles, and they were labeled. It was clear. The first one was labeled mobile. Now you got to go back years. But this is the beginning of the iPhone revolution. This is not a fad, it's not a trend. This is a complete disruption in communications. Whether you're 8 or 80, you need to have one. Everybody has one. Second circle was labeled gift cards. Now this is a $100+ billion industry. You can't walk into a store and not be assaulted by racks of these things, right? But they're plastic. Huh? Conveniently, there was an arrow moving from gift cards to mobile, and it was labeled digital. Duh. You mean I could press a button on my phone and get the brand of my choice delivered in seconds and use it? Very good. But the third circle was the key, and it was labeled cause, and it wasn't labeled charity. Because to me, charity is this. There's a handout, and you put money in the hand, and next thing it does, it reaches in your pocket to try and get more. That's a charity. A cause is attractive. A cause is something I care about. I care about the environment. I care about clean water. I care about helping people. I care about feeding children. I care about sheltering the homeless. I care about empowering women. I care about having animals around for future generations. I care. Now, when you're talking about caring, there are no more idealistic, passionate people that I have come across, and I'm older than a millennial, than millennials and next gen and Gen Z and iGens. They are steeped in it. They love it. They want to make a difference. They're mad. And they have the technology. They understand it at their fingertips. But it all really costs money. It does. But wait a minute. What if you could press a button on a phone and order, you're going to go to your favorite coffee place anyway, order $50 worth of your favorite coffee and have a $50 amount sent to you. So you spent $50 and you got $50, and a few dollars went to your favorite cause. So you pressed a button, you got what you needed, and money went to help your cause, and it didn't cost you a penny. How's that? So we had the mission. The mission became clear, making everyday giving effortless. But now we needed a goal, a big, hairy, audacious goal to facilitate the giving of $1 billion in 5 years without costing anyone a penny. Freedom to live. Mastery leads to freedom from the fear of death, which in turn is the freedom to live with purpose. Because we were there to make a difference, we attracted people who wanted to help. A Google executive who had retired early with a lot of money wanted to make a difference. One of the founders of Blue Nile wanted to make a difference. One of the past president of a $1 billion gift card company wanted to make a difference. Investors who want to make a difference, who see this as a transformation in philanthropy and giving, want to make a difference. And we built a platform. And it works. And it's good. And it's fun. And we have a great name. It's called Dlyted. Because that's what you are when you're giving. Because we touch the 2 deepest emotions in a human being when we give. I'm smart and I'm good. And how much smarter can you be to be good and it doesn't cost you any money? Because you went shopping. Yes, we can all be heroes. If you purpose in your heart to help others, you can be the hero of your journey as well. Please join me now as we see and understand what it means to be delighted.
Welcome to Dlyted, where giving is a simple, delightful experience every day. What if you could make a difference in someone's life simply by making everyday purchases without spending a penny more? What if your normal grocery budget could help feed a hungry child? What if a gift for a friend could help provide a new home for a needy family? And what if buying your daily latte could help find a cure for a disease? Dlyted has eliminated what if and enables you to make a difference without spending a penny more, just by doing what you do and spending what you spend on a normal basis. Dlyted is a simple yet powerful formula that transforms shopping into philanthropy and puts the fun back into fundraising. Whether you're an individual who wants to give back by getting more for your money, or an organization looking for a platform that will take your fundraising efforts to the next level, Dlyted is just right for you. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today to share the fun, share the goodness, and be delighted at no cost to you. Here's how it works. Go to Dlyted.com and shop for gift cards from brands you know and trust. When you purchase a digital gift card, you'll receive the full face value. So, for example, $50 gets you a $50 digital gift card. It's as simple as that. Then, with each gift card purchased, you earn cashback redeemable Dlyted points that you can use to give to your favorite cause. It's simple and easy and good. Be delighted.
Thank you.
Isn't he wonderful? I knew you would so enjoy
They think
this.
so?
Yes, they did. Isn't he wonderful? Yes. That was amazing, Barry. Thank you. Do we have any questions? Awesome. Nathan, do you want to take her the mic?
Sorry. I'm so enraptured.
I don't know anything about science.
First of all, Yashar Koach. So where ultimately does the money come from? Who is putting forth the money? Because if you're buying something and getting of equal value, there has to be money someplace
Isn't
going
she
to the
not
other cause.
asking the question you're all asking? Yeah. Hello, where does the money come from? Yeah. Great question. Hold that one. Any other questions? I want to see if the... Wait a minute, we got a question from him? Yeah. Okay, yes?
First, congratulations, Barry. What about consumers? How are they going to find out about this opportunity to make a difference with what they're already buying, basically?
Okay, very good. You all hear the questions? We have a question. Where does the money come from? And how are the millions of people who want to do this going to hear about it? Any other questions?
Amazing. My biggest question is, what do you think in your life, previous to your experience becoming a quad with the disease, and then overcoming that, but way earlier in your life, what do you think happened to you that inhibited your mindset of not even being pissed off when that happened to you?
Were you all asking that question also?
Sure.
Do you hear Connor's question? Okay, so let's look at these three questions. Let me see which I should begin with. Let's start with the personal. Okay, Connor? I'm crazy and mad, but I'm crazy. I have been blessed in my life with much goodness. Much of it I sought out from an early age. I was like you, Connor. Had a lemonade stand. Sold newspapers at Fenway Park. Anybody know where Fenway Park is? One of the best jobs in the world when you're 12, 13, and 14. I sold newspapers outside of Fenway Park. I got to see Red Sox games ad infinitum, because in those days, nobody wanted to go. Anyway, remember, I'm older than most of you. So this is way back then. My life at a very early age, I'd say somewhere around 14, 15, 16, was dedicated to the following. You ready? Joy, happiness, peace, and love. I was a flower child. I still am. but I had schooled myself and had surrounded myself and sought out similar type of people. And I have been blessed, truly, with a sense of harmony, of peace, of love, especially through my wife. I'm married now 40 years, and I hope you heard that in the discussion we did that it's my wife who's the hero. Hello? Did you all hear that? Please tell me you did. You know, I went through stuff, but I was just protoplasm. She was doing all the other things that needed to be done. So it was training Connor. It was, thank God, an understanding at a fairly young age of being able to be alive, recognizing it. My mother was a huge influence on me. I'll just tell you one story since you asked the question. My mother was one of the most positive, if not the most positive, powerful, and loving people that anyone could ever meet. In addition to all that, she was born with a very large red scar around her face, half her face. And despite all that, because I heard this from high school classmates and friends of hers, she was outgoing, loving, caring, giving. It wasn't, well, I have this handicap and such, or I have to overcome it. She became who she was. I never saw that on my mother. Can you hear this story? People, friends would come over the house and say, how can your mother has, I never saw it, because I saw her. So the influence you have of people, I urge everybody in this room, you know this, especially wonderful 14-year-old girl, surround yourself with people who are positive, who are oriented towards goodness, to giving, to sharing, which will segue to Jeff's question now, and then we will answer your question. Sharing. Jeff asked, hey, this sounds great. This almost sounds too good to be true. By the way, one of the biggest problems we have whenever I interact, we just launched this about 6 months ago. When I interact with larger groups, nonprofits, and people who have influence, the first thing that comes out of their mouth, they hear it and they believe it. They see the story, they see me, and they say, wait a minute, this is too good to be true. You can't give money for nothing. Where does it come from? So I'll show you the economics. It's pretty easy. Remember, I built businesses on the internet and had other successful businesses. So the best way, Jeff, that this gets out is that every person in this room who heard the story today, who feels in any way whatsoever moved by it, share it. I'm not asking you to buy anything. You will normally, because you're going to go to the site and say, wait a minute, duh, it's real. I'm going to shop at Macy's and Amazon and Best Buy. We have 500 of the biggest brands in the country. Why do they want to give me their brand card? Because they love what we do. And they give us something called an arbitrage. And the arbitrage, we give away almost all of it to you, so you can give to the cause of your choice. It's literally that simple. Again, the vision came, and if it's not simple and clear and concise, it's not a real, you don't do this, right? So I want to go back into full circle to you, Connor. You, personally, ready? I love the idea of influencers. Personally, I find it a little bit difficult that people are watching Justin Bieber get up in the morning, but that's another story. It's better than porn. But I'm going to share with you an idea that I have. Imagine an influencer, a he or a she, who has a following of X. Let's call it 1 million people. Wouldn't it be wonderful, Megan? I'm sorry, not Megan. Maddie, right? May I call you Maddie? No, Madeline? Thank you. By the way, that was wonderful that you said no. Thank you. Madeline, you have an influencer who wants to do good in the world, correct? Everybody wants to do good. What if that influencer with a large base could raise, pick a number, $1 million in 90 days, I'll call it 100, make a nice number, $1 million in 100 days from their group, and it wouldn't cost any of their supporters a penny. You hear me? How cool would that be? Because who gets the benefit? The influencer. What did I just do? I mean, here is she. I just gave $1 million to get rid of breast cancer. I just gave $1 million to feed children. I just gave $1 million. That's the opportunity here. How do we spread it? You spread it by literally spreading joy, happiness, peace, and love and saying, I went to a convention, I heard this crazy guy speak, he walks, he swims, he doesn't walk on water, but he walks and he swims, because I did that last time, you know what happened, you started a new, okay. And what can we do? You can change anything you want. These influencers, in my humble opinion, want to do good. You saw that equality video? That was very cool. We can build a skate park. You want to have, well, who's representing Morel Sports or something like that? We have Morel Sports as one of the brands on the site, and everybody buys Morel Sports. Money goes there, builds skate parks. That's all I care about. I'm only a conduit for good. Please use me. I went through this for a purpose, right? Does that answer your question about where the money comes from? Nice lady? So we have everything from Amazon to Zappos and everything in between, and we're bringing more all the time. Yes, another question, Connor.
We have one quick comment, and then we got to get going. But go ahead.
Okay.
We have a comment from live stream.
Comment from Boise, Idaho. Yes.
So brand live comment. It is a comment, not a question. It's from Elizur in Staten Island. She says, Barry, you're the most amazing person and a huge inspiration to all of us. What awesome energy you have. We all moved a lot closer to our computer screens for this.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.